away. That's right, because tomorrow is the college football playoff championship between the number one ranked Clemson Tigers enter the game at 14-0 versus the number 2 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide coming into the game 13-1. Of course, Alabama has been a juggernaut, a powerhouse, for, at least since Nick Saban has been their head coach. They won national championships in 2009, 2011, and 2012, while Clemson almost been 35 years since they last won a national championship. They won it during the 1981 season. That was their last national championship. The current line has Alabama favored by 7 points and the over-under at 50. Looking at the college football playoff semifinals, in the Orange Bowl, Clemson defeated Oklahoma 37-17 in the Orange Bowl to advance. They trailed 17-16 at the half, but were able to outscore Oklahoma 21-0 in the second half to secure their spot in the national championship game, while Alabama cruised to a 38-0 shutout victory over Michigan State in the Cotton Bowl. And, neither game was really that close. At least the Oklahoma game was close for a half. Alabama was only up 10-0 going into the half in the Cotton Bowl before outscoring Michigan State 28-0. Alabama did lose one game that came all the way back on September 19th to Ole Miss by the score of 43-37. Since then, in their 11 games, they're 11-0, and they've only allowed more than 16 points in one of those 11 games. And this game will feature two of the top three Heisman voting. Two of the top three Heisman vote getters. 2015 Heisman Trophy winner, running back Derrick Henry out of Alabama. What a season he's had. 2,061 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns. And then Deshaun Watson, quarterback for Clemson, finished third. Behind Henry and Stanford running back Christian McCaffrey. Watson had a great season as well, of course. 3,704 passing yards and 31 passing touchdowns. Also added 1,032 rushing yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. So that's your national championship game. As I mentioned, Alabama's defense has been stout. You look at what they've done during the course of this season. They've allowed the least yards in FBS at 266.2. So, that's scary. 13.9 points per game they allowed during the season, which is second. You take away that 43 points they allowed to Ole Miss, and that's probably closer to 10. If you look at the point differentials between the two teams, Alabama on average defeated teams by 20.5 points, while Clemson defeated teams on average by 17.6. Look at the scoring. You got Alabama averaged 34.4 points per game, while Clemson averaged 38.4. Clemson was 11th in yardage, and Alabama was 51st. So Alabama has a slight advantage in a lot of categories, but it should be an entertaining national championship game. As I mentioned, two of the three Heisman finalists. If I had to make a prediction, I'm going to say Alabama 31, Clemson 21. But remember, Clemson was also underdog in their last game in the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma. I believe Oklahoma was favored by about 3.5 points. And, Clemson easily took care of them, especially in the second half. So, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we got that and Monday Night Raw, so, whether you're a fan of college football or wrestling, you'll definitely have something to watch to start the work week once you're out of work. So, as I mentioned, I will get into the two second-round AFC games right after this commercial.
Announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Now that's not just the coolest, that's not just the best, Damage 365 Radio, now that's just incredible.
Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, selling wrestling memorabilia from all around the world, including WWE, TNA, Japan, Mexico, and the very best of the independents. They've got action figures, DVDs, autographed memorabilia, t-shirts, and more. Plus, stop in and get tickets for great promotions like UWA Elite, CZW, and many others. Located indoors at the world-famous English Town Flea Market, Green Building, booth number 35 on 90 Wilson Avenue, Manalapan Township, New Jersey. Open every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Log on to Facebook.com/Funkenstein Inc. for more information.
Join Brandon Lewis and Christopher Scythe Bracey every Tuesday night on YouTube.com/2KW at 8:30 p.m. as they bring you the matches and moments that make 2KW Pro the heart of New York City. 2KW Pro, your company, your wrestling.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and you're listening to Damaged Radio 365. Yeah, baby!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Welcome back from that short commercial break from Damage 365 and some of our sponsors. My heart is damaged. Anyhow, let me get into the two AFC second round games. First, we'll get into the game that will take place next Saturday, 4:35 p.m. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the road as they travel to Massachusetts to take on the New England Patriots. Now, right now, the Patriots are opening as a 5-point favorite, which is actually, I believe, the lowest amount the Patriots have been favored in a home game this season. Kansas City is getting a lot of credit from Las Vegas as they're on an 11-game winning streak. That's right, they started the season 1-5, actually won their opener, and then, lost 5 in a row. Jamal Charles, their star running back, went down with a torn ACL in Week 5, and, since then they've just been out of this world. 11 consecutive wins, 10 in the regular season, and then their 11th yesterday in an annihilation 30-0 victory over the Houston Texans, the AFC South champions. Brian Hoyer, Texans quarterback, just had no chance. Threw 4 interceptions, was sacked 3 times, and lost a fumble. 5 turnovers for Brian Hoyer. The game basically started in Kansas City's favor right from the get-go as returner Niall Davis returned 106 yards to give the Chiefs a early 7-0 lead to basically start off the game. Alex Smith completed 80% of his passes, 17-22. Touchdown, did have an interception, but, Kansas City's defense was stout as they've been, during the course of this winning streak, shutting out the Texans and only holding them to 226 total yards for the game. In their winning streak, they're averaging 25.5 points per game while only allowing 11.6. They haven't allowed more than 20 points in a game in their last 6 games. During this win streak, Alex Smith has 15 touchdown passes and only 5 interceptions, while also adding 2 touchdowns rushing on the ground. He actually had a streak during the season in which he went over 300 passes without throwing an interception. It was actually the second longest streak in NFL history, only behind Tom Brady. Tom Brady has the longest streak, most pass attempts without an interception. One thing that's going to have to be watched for is Jeremy Maclin. He left the game in that Texans game. Underwent an MRI today. He's being said to have a high ankle sprain. They're saying that, he may have a chance to play. We're still 6 days away, so there'll probably be more details to come along as the week goes on. But what a huge loss that would be for the Chiefs, as Macklin, what a season he had. 87 receptions, 1,088 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Definitely would be a big loss. But then again, people thought the Chiefs were done once Jamal Charles went down with an injury, and now they're looking for their 12th win in a row come Saturday. They'll be on the road against the Patriots. A Patriots team that started the year 10-0, but only ended 2-4 to finish with a 12-4 record. They had a chance to secure home field throughout the AFC playoffs, but they lost in the last week of the season, 20-10 to the Miami Dolphins. Giving up the home field to the Denver Broncos. So if the Patriots win and the Broncos win their game, the game will be in Denver. Patriots have been dealing with a multitude of injuries during the season. 2 of their running backs are out for the season, including LeGarrette Blount and Dion Lewis. They actually had to sign Steven Jackson off the street. He played last season with the Atlanta Falcons. Went unsigned to begin the season. They signed Jackson with 2 games remaining. Hasn't really done much in those 2 games. So they have him and Brandon Bolden. So, we'll see if they get any type of running game going against a very good Chiefs defense. But there's a lot of guys who had been out for the Patriots with that extra week's rest, may come back. Defensive end Chandler Jones has been nursing a toe injury. Linebacker Donta Hightower has been nursing a knee injury. Julian Edelman has missed quite some time with a broken foot. And tackle Sebastian Vollmer has a leg injury. All 4 of those guys are currently listed as questionable for the game against the Chiefs. So if they get some of those pieces back, maybe they could recreate the magic that got them off to that 10-0 start and had a lot of people believing that they could possibly once again run the table in the regular season. Instead, they finished 12-4. Saw their defense slightly drop as they allowed 22.2 points per game in their last 6 after allowing just 18.2 in their first 10. Obviously the 2 teams, just as the Packers and Redskins game, they're trending in 2 different directions. Chiefs can't lose, and the Patriots have lost 4 of their last 6. But with the game in New England and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, of course, their 4 Super Bowls. They have to be considered favorites, and will definitely be probably the biggest challenge for Kansas City during their course of their 11-game winning streak. So that's one game, and then the other game takes place a week from today, almost exactly 24 hours from now. 4:40 p.m. is when kickoff is scheduled to begin. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. The early line has the Broncos favorite by 6 points. They went 12-4 during the regular season and earned the top seed in the AFC playoffs, while the Steelers finished 10-6. Only got in because the Jets lost to the Buffalo Bills in the final game. If the Jets had beaten the Bills, the Steelers would be watching the playoffs from home. But, Steelers beat the Browns, Jets lost, Steelers got in, and were able to win 18-16 against the AFC North champions, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals held a 16-15 lead late with the ball. Running back Jeremy Hill fumbled. It was recovered by the Steelers. Steelers somewhat were driving, and on an incomplete pass, they gained 30 yards. That's because Vontaze Burfict had a hit on Antonio Brown. Led with his helmet, was flagged for, a personal foul. Adam Jones bumped into a ref, got a personal foul as well. 30 yards later, a 35-yard field goal gave the Steelers the winning points. Steelers now enter this game against the Broncos, winners of 5 of 6,
and 7 of their last 9. That is